truth, contentment, compassion, humility, and love.
A routine which goes back thousands of years, that as soon as you wake in the morning, before you do anything else, you voice of gratitude. Thank you for returning my soul to me.
Because it's understanding 4 things: move, breathe, read, and think.
How do I energize myself for the day is, if you have the possibility, you go out.
Going into 2024, you want to carry in good practices, good habits, daily routines, from cold showers to exercise to stretching, mobility, and what you eat, your diet. Today is a compilation of my favorite guests that we've had on the show, talking about the greatest habits you could have in your life for 2024. From Wim Hof and cold baths to Master Sheng Yi and meditation. These are the best clips from those moments throughout the year that will help change your life and start you right in 2024. Today's video was made possible, as always, at mulliganbrothers.com, where we're having a buy one get one free sale end of year. Link is down below. Use code 2024 at checkout to get ready for the new year. You can get a not a journal and a Memento Mori poster, buy one get one free, or you can mix and match across a t-shirt, hoodies, whatever it is, where all the profits from the website go back into creating this content. So before that, get out your pens, get out your paper, get out your not a journal if you've got one, and write this down, because these are the greatest habits you could carry into 2024 to succeed this year. Let's dive into it. What does your physical daily routine look like?
So my daily physical routine is either, it depends also what time of the year we have. Normally summertime, it means waking up and first of all going for a run. Going for a run for the purpose of cleaning out your lungs and getting a lot of fresh air right in the beginning of the day into the body. Now, from the traditional Chinese medicine, or the view of the transition phases, we also regard the morning, meaning until noon. We are regarding that this is a certain time frame that is dominated, let's say, by rising young energy, which means that is exactly the point of time where you are supposed to come out. Yeah, to do the work that takes a lot of effort from you, let's say, until noon. So, and this is why after the morning training, after the morning run, first of all, we have also our breakfast, because after the breakfast starts the first high intensity training. High intensity training can mean that the exercises I showed you with the practicing of the rings, that would be one of them. So you make several repetitions from this type of exercise. Or also, I have my personal regimen at the moment of having the hardening exercises also in the morning. And so around 11, 12 o'clock, we are normally finished with the first section. Then we're starting with preparing the lunch. 1 o'clock it's lunchtime, and followed up by a short break. And afterwards we have the afternoon training, where I either practice again my forms, do some stretching, or do also some standing exercises. Yeah, but maybe it would be a good idea to have a video in the future to really talk a little bit about what type of different exercises are actually existing in this field of, let's say, Shaolin Kung Fu, because it's so much that even for me, just like doing the hardening, already like 2 hours of the day are gone. If then standing practices come together, if I just choose 2 positions, then already half an hour already is gone again. For me personally, I have at the moment around 8 or 9 continuous forms that I practice. If every form just takes 2 minutes and I practice each of them 5 times, it's already again 1 hour gone. So there are so many different areas that you can develop yourself in, that one day is gone very quickly. And that also means at the same time that the longer you are staying in this field of Shaolin arts, the more methods you are starting to discover. You are gaining more knowledge, you are gaining more methods, but at the same time you feel like you don't have enough time to even practice all of this. And this is where now my understanding goes, that there is the saying, it is impossible to master Kung Fu in one lifetime. I can understand somehow where this idea is coming from. And what does it mean, mastering Kung Fu? And there one teacher used to say, practicing Kung Fu is life, and life is Kung Fu. So if you master Kung Fu, it means it's mastering life. It means you're mastering to take life into your own hands. In the Kung Fu, you are responsible to build up yourself as a Kung Fu master. Kung Fu master, master of life, mastering your own life. This is what all of this is about. And sometimes one lifetime is not enough to get all the tools in order for you to know how to fix everything that this life is throwing at you. And this is again where then the idea comes from, that every lifetime we need to use in order to make us grow, in order for us to learn something new within this lifetime. Because if you believe in it or not, just assuming it would be like this, the knowledge you are gaining in this life period, you're gonna get as a new nice package for the next time you come back. Which means you don't want to waste that lifetime right now doing unnecessary stuff that does not bring you forward. Why not? Because in case you come back, you're gonna face the same issues again that you did not solve in this lifetime. And please excuse if this is maybe something not everybody can relate to, because they think it is something you need to believe in. You don't need to believe in. You just ask yourself, if that would be a way of thinking, would it make sense? And from there you start.
There's still a difference now between the outside and the inside, but my body is becoming stronger from within. The impact of the cold comes to my skin, and from within, from the receptors in the skin, signals all the systems inside. They then become strong. Right now I almost do not feel the cold anymore. There's no difference anymore. My body from within has become strong. But for you at home, start with a cold shower, 15 seconds. Then the other day, 30 seconds, then 45, 1 minute, 1 minute 15, up till 2 minutes. And then you are ready for a nice bath like this, because your cardiovascular system is back on, is awakened to its natural capacity to adapt fast to cold outside. Cold is a power, and for that the cardiovascular system needs to empower itself. And that is all nature and natural. We just show when you're 64, you can be better than when you were young. Something like that, you know? Like that, we don't go by the way people think it all is. We choose our own lives to be happy, strong, and healthy, and pass on the message to those who are in despair, who think, oh, but I cannot do it. Oh, they are encapsulated, captivated by their fears and by what they have learned in schools, which is far too less for taking on the problems of life. And then we, like me, who lost his wife in a suicide in '95, mother of my 4 children, I had to go on like the daily life train just keeps on going. And then condolences. I do not even understand what the word means. Condolences. I say, bloody, get out of my life. This is not life. I'm suffering. I'm so deeply suffering, I cannot even talk about it. It's there. I feel the lack. I feel the emptiness. I feel it's there. Why? And I have to take care of 4 children and have no money. Where am I? This is where these techniques come from. And that helped me to get out of that pit and become stronger than ever. Why? Because my emotion is able to be a message through the signs to be brought to you, to become happy, strong, and healthy at will. I don't want you to suffer ever. There's no need. Only we were never schooled. And if we love our akin, our families, and we give them the greatest of powers, is that love. The confidence to become happy, strong, and healthy anytime. You can call it chi, you can call it pneuma, you can call it prana. And the natives use it in different ways. The kia ora in New Zealand, with the Maoris, the Aborigines, they all have their way to be in connection with nature. With nature outside means with the nature inside, because we are part of nature. They have not made it a dualistic experience, like there's outside world and inside world. If you stop, if you're really separated of the two, you don't breathe. But because you breathe, you are one with that outside all the time. But in the end, it's about emotion. Because the mother who saw a child underneath the car and lifts up the car, or Jordan here who wanted to lift up a 210 kilo stone and couldn't do it, and then thinking about his tragedy in his life with his son or daughter, I don't know, his child, and 7 times. What is that? That's emotion. And the strongest of the emotions is called love. And that love we bring now to you.
The last 2, one that I would not be able to leave without asking you is the ultimate morning routine, which I think you've got a fairly decent one. So I'd love to hear your morning routine.
Okay, so nowadays when it comes to my morning routine, I give people I had a viral video about my morning routine because a lot of people got angry because they're like, that's not sustainable, or that's too much. And I completely agree. But to me, it's Monday. And the reason it's Monday is because I choose to do all of these things and I'm in a position to be able to do them because I want to do them. I don't want to do them, but I do them. My day starts at 4:30 a.m. Get up at 4:30, downstairs for about 4:45. I stretch and do some mobility for 25 minutes. I then do 3 rounds of Wim Hof breathing. I then open my Day One app, which is a journal app, and I ask myself my 5 questions. I then read a chapter of a book. I then go for a dip in my plunge tank. So that takes me to about 6:15. I then drive to the gym, get to the gym about 6:45, half by the time I've dried off, 6:45. Gym till about 7:45, 8 o'clock, so maybe an hour and 20 in the gym, and then come back and have breakfast. So start at 4:30 waking up and finishes about 8:30. It's about 4 hours. Do I do that every day? Pretty much, but I do have a routine that I do if I'm away, and I trying to keep my morning routine down to 4 things. So it doesn't matter what it is, it has to produce the result of 4 things. So when it comes to my morning routine, mine's a big morning routine, but I could easily slim that down to about 8 minutes, because it's understanding 4 things: move, breathe, read, and think. When you wake up in the morning, you have to have some kind of movement, be it stretching, be it going out for a walk. That's what's really going to help get your brain firing up, because as soon as you move, your brain is fully fresh, fully recovered from a night's sleep. As soon as you move, it wakes it up. And do not use that brain in the morning to scroll and have negative things. It's like a sponge. It's a creative sponge. Use it instead of absorb crap. If you're going to absorb stuff, absorb a book. So that is what I prefer. Move, breathe. Breath work has been a massive game changer for me. I've only really been doing it for about a year now. We breathe every day, but how often do we breathe? When we're stressed, we have shallow breath. So simple thing. Wim Hof breathing I love. Box breathing, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds hold, 5 seconds out, 5 second hold. What I found with breathing is it reminds me of an old TV, that old white noise where it's going, because what happens when you breathe is it turns the noise down. So breathe. Read. When your brain is firing all cylinders, absorb it with some good shit. Either read a book or listen to an audiobook. Cheat code is to move and listen to an audiobook. I used to have these things called power walks, and people think, how fast do you go? I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm powering up on the walk. And then finally, think. Thinking in the morning is so important. Once you've moved, journaling is the most amazing thing, because your brain is firing up. And the morning, when it's quiet and it's early, is the best time to ask yourself the all-important questions, such as, are you happy with what you're doing with your life? What are we going to plan to do this week to push the needle forward? Journaling is a massive game changer. The reason that a lot of people don't journal is because they don't know what to ask themselves. And that's why you need prompts. Prompts are super, super important. And just write in a journal 3 things. What are you thinking about? What 3 things are you grateful for? And what, if completed today, would make it a good one? 3 simple questions that any person can ask themselves each day. And there you go, that's journaling. It's not complicated, and it doesn't take that much time to do. But that's where you're going to ask yourself the deep questions. And whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, whenever you're feeling stressed, what you need to do is get it out. So you need to brain dump things down. It also will help improve your sleep, because if you've got a lot of things on your mind, that's when you struggle to sleep. So yes, my morning routine is 4 hours, but if you understand, move, breathe, read, and think. Move. I could do 1 minute of burpees. There we go. Read. We can. One thing that I do for a read is I have lots of notes and a lot of motivation quotes, so I can spend a minute or 2 minutes taking on board 2 of my motivational quotes, which are going to set me up for the day. Think. How much time do you think it's going to take you to write those 3 prompts? Okay, breathe. Box breathing, 2 minutes. So we've pretty much done a morning routine, in about 8 minutes. And if you could commit to doing that every single day, 8 minutes, you'd see a significant impact in your life. And very much like you were talking about with David Goggins doing the first mile. When you do 8 minutes of a routine, hitting those 4 things, that 8 minutes might turn to 20 minutes, to 30, to an hour. I'm not saying that yours is going to turn into 4, but you know, my morning routine, it is there because that makes me bulletproof. I have literally ticked every box that I need to do for myself for the day, and I don't need to do anything else for myself. So by 8:30, I'm fully selfless to what anybody else needs from me.
One of the questions I ask most of our guests is, and I know you've covered this before, is your morning routine. Is like what you go for on a morning routine. I'd love to hear it. I don't know if the cold therapy is involved in that, but yeah, I'd love to know.
You know, I'll share the Sikh morning routine, which is something I've written in the past about. And I think it's an amazing morning routine that really is something that, you know, you're taught from a young age that this is a morning routine that will help you not just conquer the day, but conquer your ego. And it starts first by waking at a time we call Amrit Vela, the ambrosial hours. This is waking up before the sun rises. It's a time of quiet. It's a time where you can work on spiritually armoring yourself before you then work to uplift others. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is called Ishnan. And Ishnan is the sense that we have to prepare ourselves physically and mentally and spiritually. And one of these do that is by getting ready. We believe in bathing ourselves as a way to start the day. And often many Sikh tradition include cold showers or cold therapy. There's something that there's a tradition of that as Sikhs. And that's where we need to prepare ourselves. We need to get this process started of getting ready for the day, which is led by meditation, Simran. And this is such an important way of connecting to our true nature, to that fact that we're all connected, to looking at how we can foster this we thinking as opposed to the selfish, egotistical me thinking of the ego. That's how we start going to battle. You know, you start that day with going to battle with your ego. And it's then followed with Nityanem, which is Sikhs reading the transformational love and positivity of the teachings of our gurus, of the Guru Granth Sahib, of Gurbani, of the spiritual scripture and guru of Sikhs. And when we read this, it's giving us so much spiritual strength and the ability to reflect and motivate and find the strength that we need to really take on that day. And then we end off with an ardas, which is an appeal to this oneness, to this connection, to strengthen our weaknesses, to uplift all humanity, and to really set our intention for that day. And then once we complete that process, we then start our day. That's a Sikh morning routine that I think we can all benefit from, and is something that has helped Sikhs. Really, I think the strength of our lives, the strength of our practice can be found in the strength of that morning routine.
That's an amazing foundation for a day. So
it's a way to start the day, man.
Yeah, but what about when it's winter months in Canada? Like getting up early, you know, beating the sun, it might be quite difficult.
Yeah. It's a tough process, right? And there's ups and downs in it, but this is a Sikh routine that is encouraged, and I think it's a beautiful thing. That if you can get it down pat, it's something that I think it's just such a powerful way to ground yourself and start the day.
Leaders are the ones who serve, not the sort of the other way around. A lot of people think as leaders are just in charge and we listen to what they've got to say.
And so there's this really beautiful concept in the Sikh spirituality, in the Sikh tradition, of we call leaders sevadars. And sevadar is one who serves. And this is a form of leadership, is to say that true leadership isn't just telling people what to do, but true leadership is lifting up those around us. When we put those around us in the position to be their best selves, that's how we actually are able to create the best form of leadership for the community, for the group. And this is something that we as Sikhs really hope to aspire and exemplify when we come together.
What are some qualities of Sikhs that could be applicable to people's lives today, that could be helpful, and that you find valuable?
So as we go down this process of trying to understand and experience this oneness, there are 5 qualities that a Sikh will then start to experience. And these are 5 qualities that are often spoken about a lot in our Sikh spiritual teachings, which are Sat, Santokh, Daya, Nimrata, and Pyar, which is truth, contentment, compassion, humility, and love.
Okay, let's start with the first one then, truth.
Truth, it's so important to live in a manner where we are truthful, not just to one another, but to ourselves. And I think being someone who exemplifies truth is spending time in deep meditation, spending time reflecting on what we're motivated by, understanding who we are. And with that as our foundation, then we're so much in a better position to engage and connect with others.
And then on to contentment.
Contentment is such a powerful idea. And it's rooted in the idea that desire is a source of so much pain. Desire is something that has us running from one want to another want to another want. Desire is insatiable. Desire is a source of pain because there's no end to it. Contentment is the antithesis towards this desire, because we learn that in the moment, everything we need is within us. And that allows us to live with so much more joy, so much more happiness, so much more balance and peace.
Just on the point of contentment, I feel like there could be a confusion with being comfortable, which would lead to not wanting growth. So how do you, what's the belief around that in Sikhism?
This is how I understand it. Desire has us chasing end results, outcomes. But when you fall in love with the process, you are content in that struggle. So development and desire are 2 different things. I've always understood them as 2 different things. But when you truly commit yourself to development, you're not focused on the end result. You're focused on showing up every single day in that moment, becoming better every single day in that struggle, as opposed to just waiting for the tough times to go away and to get that goal that we've been striving to. So I think being process focused as opposed to outcome focused is a distinction between contentment and desire, between development and desire.
I love that. So on to the next one with compassion.
Compassion is so important in fostering that empathy and that sympathy with one another. If we're saying that we're all one, then a part of that is in the same way that we hope to love ourselves, to love others, because it's all the same in the end. And when we are truly compassionate, what that means is the injustices that others face, the tough times that others face, the pain, the sadness that others face is pain that we are facing. And that's why we're almost compelled spiritually when we seek this oneness to uplift and help those around us.
I love that. We spoke about editing negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Again, like, how can somebody edit negative thoughts and why should they?
Editing negative thoughts is important because your thoughts are not your own. They're downloaded from someplace and they're reinforced by emotional feelings, and then you project that out and you get the same thing back. You get you attract those negative thoughts, you reinvent those negative feelings, you put that out and you get more back. And if you can edit those negative thoughts and recreate that positive feeling, and it really takes practice. First off, you have to recognize that you have negative thoughts in your head. And I do that with kumihimo, braiding, thinking about it and not thinking about it. And if I'm doing something down here and there's negative thoughts going through my head, then what is it where is that coming from? You know, what somebody else thinks of me. Where is that coming from? It's not coming from the braiding part. It's coming from a unconscious part of me. And because I understand that I'm whole, perfect, and complete as I am, that negative thought must be foreign, so you just edit it. You just say, thank you for sharing, and you go on. And I encourage people to walk 20 minutes a day, and if you're out in nature and you're in a beautiful space, what is your thinking doing? Are you thinking about yesterday or tomorrow? That's depression, that's anxiety. You're in a space right now where you should be in the moment. What is going on? And paying attention to where your thoughts are and trying to redirect them into the moment. That's that 20 minutes, because if your body is working in a rhythmic, reciprocal pattern, you're not thinking about making your body work. That's automatic. And if you've got automatic thinking going through, then you have a chance to observe that and change it. And so I always say 20 minutes a day, whether you want to or not. Or meditation helps, because you sit there and you're actually looking at what that thought is. You're closing your eyes, looking and quieting your mind, and then every little thought that comes back is a gift. Every one that comes across is a gift, because it tells you what's dominating your mind. And you say, thank you. And then, if those are thoughts that don't serve you, you just say thank you and you release it. And the other one is play. If you're engaged in play, or if you're engaged in that space where you're observing the world and you're involved with those form-shape comparisons and you have a negative thought, where'd that come from? It's not constructive. So you just have to release it. And when I have a chance to program my mind, to program my thinking, I always tell people, brush your teeth and make your bed. So you have a place to go back to that's organized. And at night you sit and say, I did a good job here. I fell a little short on my goals here. I'm going to look at the way I do things tomorrow. When I wake up in the morning and my body tells me it's awake, I start saying, what are my goals and dreams for today? And how am I going to embody that which brings me joy each day? And if I didn't love my work, I wouldn't do it. And so I get to go out and do what fills me up every day. And that's the way I say, Witch, you're doing a good job. It's like, get out there and have fun.
If you're enjoying this video, please consider supporting us at mulliganbrothers.com, where you can get the Not a Journal Success Journal, the Momentum Reposter, the t-shirts, hoodies, buy one, get one free using code 2024, linked down below. But before that, let's continue on the greatest habits for your new year. We have had, I think we spoke to you about sort of your morning routine and what you do, but is there something specific, like steps that people can follow when they wake up, that they could go through that would prime them for the day and prepare them to be the best version of themselves?
Okay. Let's start just with the basic idea of the day is about to come. I have maybe some goals I want to achieve, so nothing can be created if you don't have energy. Simple way, how do we get energy? Watch your diet, watch your lifestyle relating to how many hours do you sleep, at what time are you going to bed, how much time are you spending outside on the sun, second area, and then also, for example, how is your relation to your breath. These are the three ways: breathing, lifestyle, and diet. So when I wake up in the morning, first of all, I think the majority of people that are out there, they have a house where they sleep, let's say. So the whole night you are breathing in, let's say, continuously air and oxygen, which is all the time in your room. So one simple way, how do I energize myself for the day, is, if you have the possibility, you go out. Fresh air. Of course, put something warm on, you don't get sick, but like breathing wise, go out on the fresh air. Open the window and then start, for example, your clean air breathing preparation. Deep, conscious, starting to pump up. Start up fueling your system, your breathing system. Different ways. Either really just slowly fill everything up 9 times, 10 times. Or other exercises, you breathe in through the left nose, breathe out through the right. So the first thing is clean up your breathing apparatus, which means it is one of the 3 areas right now that I consciously choose to start the day. Breathing, bring in the energy. Okay, so number 1. Other people go running, one possibility. Number 2, have a proper breakfast. Yes. And number 3, which relates now to the lifestyle, is actually what I mentioned before already. Stop thinking too much about. Stop thinking too much. The fact of you thinking too much is already getting you off the road. Okay? And so these things are what comes all together. Waking up, preparing your body, waking up, eating the proper food, waking up and already stay in the mindset, taking into consideration that you know, watching on the phone too much, being distracted by sounds too much, being distracted by what's going on the outside too much. This is not the way to go. Just stay in this observation mode, always watch yourself. Stay in this observation mode and then slowly you can start and you build up from the morning this energy level then. Yes. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but you just take the 4 seasons as an example. Okay, the 24 hours divided into 4 seasons, meaning there is a phase where energy starts to rise, which is like springtime. There is the point when your energy level reaches the highest peak. It is the summertime. Afterwards comes the season of slowly calming down, letting go, shutting down slowly your energy system, meaning don't push yourself unnecessarily until you are entering back into winter time. Things are now getting quiet and you can rest, sleeping. And then next morning the sun and the spring comes again. So it's a simple cycle. And now exactly this type of cycle you relate to now to your 24-hour day. How could that possibly look? Which means, first of all, observe yourself when at the moment, at what point of the day are you having your highest peaks? When you feel this, when you know, when you sense the time where you are the most awake, the time where you feel the most vital. This is the time where you place all the heavy work in, all the productive work in, all the things that take energy. That is this time. But to feel already, oh no, my body, I'm slowly getting tired, I'm slowly starting to shut down. And then forcing yourself to do something. This is called draining yourself. Your actions, your behavior are in opposition to what your energy system is doing. Yes. So, and when you're still young and you're still adaptable, all not an issue. On the long term, big issue. If energy system and the way of how you behave does not fit together, then this is what we call, you have a big internal conflict, which is expressing in many different ways. This can be depression, can be of really split personality, whatever it is. Yeah, why do you have this split personality? Because something about you is split. There's no harmony there. See? And these are like just things in general, regardless of what type of work you are doing during the day, that I would like that I would think about.
To speak of the physical body, the way we look after it, we see routines. We speak about morning routines, not just for physical health though as well. That can be mental, it can be meditation, and it can involve work and study. But I'd love to know your thoughts on routine and if you have one yourself.
I want to just add something that I think will help understand the routines. So, in effect, it's important to understand that there are like two forces within us. We say body and soul. So there's the physical body, as I mentioned, vehicle, and the soul, the spirit within it. But there's something more to it. Body also represents bodily needs and bodily desires. So in a way, you could say every one of us is always battling between two voices. The voice of the body, which says, serve me, I have needs, I have desires, I have pleasures. And the voice of the soul, which is more a transcendent soul, the voice of transcendence. Why are we here? What's the purpose of life? So when you eat a meal on a very basic level, you could eat a meal in several ways. You could say, hey, I'm hungry, I need fuel, and just indulge. Or you could eat the meal and say, this food that I'm eating, I'm elevating and refining, because the energy, as it will turn into my blood, flesh and blood, the energy I will use for constructive purposes and make the world a better place. So you see, so you could also elevate the physical body towards spiritual ends. Or you can just indulge and just be selfish about it. And there's an interesting statement that says that when a wicked person walks on the street, the cobblestones cry out, what right do you have to walk on me? We've never transgressed, we've never hurt anyone. What right do you, a person who's hurt other people, walking on me? So when you look at an apple on a tree, and you rip the apple off the tree, the apple can say to you, how are you going to eat me? Meaning, how are you going to use me? If you use my energy to help other people, then you've elevated me, because I couldn't do that on the tree. But if you've used the energy to hurt other people, then you've desecrated me. Might as well leave me on the tree. So in a sense, how we interact with the material world, our bodies interact with the material world, are part of our choices and our spiritual journey. So essentially the routines that are necessary are not just the routines of proper hygiene, exercising, good diet, and properly taking care of your body. That goes without saying, cleanliness and all that comes with that. But it's more than that. The routines also include making sure your body is aligned with your soul's mission. So, talk about myself, for example, a routine which goes back, this is a tradition that goes back thousands of years, that as soon as you wake in the morning, before you do anything else, you voice of gratitude. Thank you for returning my soul to me. It's an actual prayer, a meditation, a chant. Thank you for returning my soul to me. So the body, your mouth, is actually articulating those words. What are you doing? You're saying, I'm not just here, I don't take my life for granted. I was granted another day. I woke up, so I have to use the opportunities to somewhat spiritualize and refine the world around me. And you begin that day. So both body and soul are communicating with each other. If you don't do that, what happens is, okay, your body's hungry, or it's tired, or wants to do some business, and your soul somewhat is going off on its own agenda, or just silenced. In a way, that's the first routine that aligns body and soul toward this mission. And you need both. And then there are certain prayers that you say. We also wash our hands. That's a custom in the morning. And then there's certain prayers. In other words, you don't just jump into the business day. You go in well prepared. You go in just like you see athletes or you see people, in many situations, they first do warm-ups. So prayer and study are ways that you begin to acclimate yourself before you enter into we'll call the battles of life. So I like to call it immersing your soul in a spiritual spa. SPA being an acronym for study, prayer, action. It's 3 routines. And one is cognitive, second is emotional, and the third is behavioral conditioning. Putting your head in the right place. Meaning before you read the news and you read any updates, put your head, read something spiritual, something that puts that focus on the deeper purpose of your life. Read Toward a Meaningful Life, read Man in Search of Meaning, or any books like that, of that nature. Even a small little section. So it gets your mind in the right place. It's like a cleanser. Your mind is like focusing on transcendent values. The second is prayer, which is emotional. A poem, a song, anything that emotionally gets you into a very pure and sacred place. Because our emotions are going to be stimulated throughout the day in many ways, but you want to enter the day with that power. And finally, behavioral. Put a little money in a charity box, or give something to someone that you meet, or share a kind word with someone. So when you take your cognitive, your emotional, and your behavioral faculties and align them, that is the routines that help your body and soul work together toward the higher purpose and meaning of life.
That was the 12-year-old saying. They think it is normal. I think it is sick, what is going on. And it only increased. And we go like crazy monkeys every day to our work, and pollution and wars and money-driven mentality and all. But are you happy? Are you strong? Are you healthy? Are you able to pass it on to your children? Are you there? Do you feel the soul? Do you feel the love that drives that soul? And love is a power so strong, and there is no mind there. So you just go. You want to reach the other side where the object of your love. Let that object be your soul within yourself. I learned that. I had to run barefoot beyond the polar circle. And I talked to the audio man just the night before. And it was going to be very cold outside the other day. And I was to run only a half marathon beyond the polar circle, January, Discovery Channel. And I was talking to him, saying, I feel, shit, man, it's a really big, it was nagging in my mind. Is it really going to happen tomorrow? And then he said to me, great mantra, he told me. He taught me. And he said, just run like fuck. It was amazing. It hit me. And I said, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. You know, when you want to make love, you feel powerful. I'm going to feel power here, and now I'm going to make love to the universe. I'm here. I will show. And I did. And after 18 kilometers therein, the first 10 kilometers was just making fun. But then the cold came. And little by little, it ate the skin away. After 18 kilometers, I touched mine and I brought it to my nose and feeling. And I thought I couldn't feel my forefoot anymore. And, but the doctor said, you might lose your foot this way. And, but I decided I go anyway. The last 200 meters of that half marathon, the sun appeared. Say, that's my gold medal. I did it, and I inflicted that cold upon me. And the professor, he told me, this is irreparable damage. We will have to cut that meat, irreparable cell damage done. We will have to cut it after 3 months. You have to treat it. He gave me a box full of medicaments, Band-Aids, etc. And then I never used it. I put it aside. I healed myself. Despite of what this professor was saying on television and all. No, you can heal yourself, and that's what I did. So, thing is, all these challenges, they led up to me discovering something that is unknown in science. And this is all part of that same mission, the missionary. the missionary who is bringing that what is unanswered, what all the medics, doctors and professors think is insolvable right now. And I say, nature has it. You just have to persevere. And that's what I did. So my mother is here, and I'm okay with my mom. I'm doing what she told me to do. I'm a good boy.
You know when you say you was around 17 years old and you was kind of called to the cold for those first few times, and cold therapy, ice therapy, or getting into cold water was not a thing then. Nobody was doing it.
Yeah.
Do you remember any particular moments, like a specific situation where somebody was on the side of the park calling you crazy, or is there anything that comes to mind, that a specific situation that happened?
It was since my 17th, going regularly inside the cold. I learned very quick to do it on my own, to make it a practice like a monk, like a seal, like a secret operation. I did not want nobody to see what I was doing. I was doing it solely on my own for 27 years. But sometimes you are caught by somebody, and people just don't understand. They call up the police. They think there is a dead man in the water. I remember that one well because I did also breathing exercises. But don't do this at home. I was very, very experienced. I could stay for 5 to 7 minutes under the water, in icy water. Yeah, I did my breathing. I know how to alkalize my body so much. The breathing trigger is there, is not anymore there, and you just stay under the water. The last 30 seconds, you pee. That because then it goes to the renal glands, the kidneys, and that's the way it goes out. That's the way it works. And then I know I have to go back up, but very controlled. So I did that, and then under the ice, when it is thick like this, you still see the shape of the body. So people thought it was a dead body in the water. And it's fully silent. I got photos of that. I can show you. Later I will pass on that photo. And of course, the police came, and then I talked to them. And I did stuff they could not imagine. I mean, you saw me doing the splits, for example, but I put the 2 legs over there with one handstands. And after the ice bathing, which normally makes you stiff and all, is it? Not me. The contrary. I felt fully flexible and all those things gave me more and more confidence to do more and more, until the point television came to me. Hey, can you swim 50 meters under the water, under ice? Can you do 100 meters? Can you stand for 2 hours in the ice water? Can you climb Mount Everest in your shorts? Can you hang by one finger up in the winter time, a kilometer or more in the air? Can you run a marathon beyond the polar circle? You think I'm crazy? TV is crazy. The thing is, I could do it all. I met them all, and I came up with new challenges all the time. That's the way the Iceman was born. And from there, scientists also have a television at home. They see documentaries. They saw me. And then they saw me doing things they thought of physiologically for humans impossible. Yet I was doing it. So one day they began to invite me. And the first study is right over there. It needs to be there later, show that. Because there you show that I was like 80 minutes in icy water, maintaining core body temperature. And then the blood was being taken here in 80 minutes. And the professors and doctors all astounded. They didn't see me shivering. Nothing happened. I was fully in control, relaxed, talking to the people while being under severe stress. And they took the blood there, and that blood they exposed E. coli bacteria ex vivo, that means in a laboratory setting, which normally causes an aggressive reaction. In my case, 0. And that should have shook up the medical world. But now I can understand what is going on, because it's not only about natural ways to heal people and investigate into it. No, how can we make the most of money out of people's disease? Hey, that's not even political. It is time that we show that people actually have a much greater innate capacity to heal themselves than it has been taken up and now in the paradigm all over the world. And that's what I am showing. So it came from my mother, who started with an invocation. When I was 12 years, I woke up. I'm going to do something about it. What? I don't know. That's a God feeling. When I was 17, I went for the first time into the icy water. And I loved it. And since then, that's 46 years ago, since then I'm doing it like every day. I never skipped it. And now I know if older people do this, they just do not become sick. But who cares?
Thank you for watching. I hope you took a lot away from this. I have got these notes down already, because when I do an interview, I like to think about what we spoke about, take away the good stuff that I really enjoyed and implement it into my life. So I will be doing cold baths. I will be doing cold therapy. I will be doing certain types of exercises and stretching routines. More importantly, Master Shahung Yi has been teaching me about like meditation and stretching. So I'm going to implement that into my new routine. Find a routine that works for you. You don't have to copy somebody to the T. You need to find something that fits with your lifestyle, that fits with your goals, that fits with your mental health, that fits with the people that are around you. That's the most important thing. Do not go out there and blindly copy somebody else's routine. It's not the way it works. They have their routine, and that's what made them who they are. You are a different person, and you have different goals. So you need a different routine. I hope that you're ready for 2024. I'm excited that you're closing it out with a Mulligan Brothers video. And if you want to help support us further, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. We have 100 new interviews coming in 2024. And also, if you want to support us further than that, please consider going over to mulliganbrothers.com, where there's an end of year sale. Use code 2024 at checkout for buy one, get one free across the whole entire range, from the Not a Journal, the Success Journal that actually leads to success, where you write down your yearly goals, your monthly goals, your daily goals. Every single day, you break it down into task lists and you get it done. And also the Momentumori poster. Remember that you are mortal poster. That's my poster right there, and it does remind me that one day I will die. That's my life. I fill it out every single morning. I've got one on the fridge at home. And it humbles me. I realize that time is precious. That might have been the last box I fill in, and I live with passion and purpose. These are great tools. They make great gifts, and also the Inspire Change hoodies and t-shirts. Link down below. Use code 2024 at checkout for buy one, get one free, where all the proceeds go back into creating this content. It's how we do this. It's how we get our film crew, the Mulligan Brothers Circus, flying around the world with all the gear to make these documentaries. And 2024 is going to be our biggest year yet. So thank you for the support. Have a blessed and productive day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I wake up every morning, I sit on my deck and I meditate and I take pictures of this beautiful landscape and environment. As the sun comes up, I wish everybody a beautiful day. You see, that's a practice. You wish, we are all interconnected.